Communications.
I'm a plumber and I'm on site for a job, and we got we're snaking a drain, and we've been pulling back. We probably pulled back about 10 pounds, 15 pounds of it looks like flesh type of stuff, meat, and we don't know what it is.
When these plumbers were called out to a quiet Ontario neighborhood in December 2017, they expected it to be a routine job. A block drain is usually a simple fix. The plumbers brought their drain snake with them, an essential plumbing tool made up of a long wire with a corkscrew end. If the blockage wasn't substantial, it shouldn't have taken them longer than an hour with this specialist tool. But they encountered a problem. After several days of blocked pipes, the neighbors were getting antsy. They wanted a quick and easy fix to the problem. But what the plumbers discovered in the drains was anything but quick and easy. There grew some discovery would have police descending upon the area, turning it into a crime scene. The plumbers had discovered evidence of a grisly murder with far-reaching consequences and body parts callously flushed down the toilet. This is the chilling story of Adam Strong. Let's start with Rori Hachie. She was born in July 1999 in Oshawa, a quiet suburb in Ontario, Canada. She was a bright and spirited kid with a fondness for animals. And the elderly, she kept herself busy outside of school as an Army cadet. And by the age of 13, she had received the Cadet of the Year title twice. But when she entered high school a year later, things took a turn for the worse. As a 14-year-old freshman, she was offered crystal meth. She accepted it, the first mistake in what would go on to be a years-long struggle with addiction, as only a teenager. Rori came from a troubled background. Her grandfather was Bernie Guindon, otherwise known as Bernie the Frog, the founder of Satan's Choice Motorcycle Club, which was for a time the second largest biker club in the world. As an outlaw biker with drug and assault convictions, he'd served 22 years in prison and had anywhere between 11 and 16 children. One of these was Rori's uncle, Harley Davidson Guindon, who owned a clothing store in Oshawa. Rori and her uncle were close. Harley himself was a Hells Angels biker. Still, he had a soft spot for his teenage niece. In 2016, when she was 17, Rori lived with Harley and his family while he was under house arrest on drug charges. Rori's mother, Shannon Dion, had reported herself to the Children's Aid Society because she thought it was the only way to get Rori the help she needed with her addiction. The services didn't help, but Rori managed to turn her life around on her own. The last 6 months of her life were positive ones. Rori had a boyfriend, Tony, and even her own apartment. Harley had recently given her and her mother $1,000 to help with living expenses, but Rori had found a job of her own and returned to school. Things were looking up. In August 2017, her aunt, Michelle Guindon, took her to a drugstore to buy a pregnancy test. It came back positive. Rori was pregnant, and she wanted to keep the baby. She was looking forward to motherhood. However, at the end of that same month, things took a tragic turn. An unexplained fire broke out in Rori's mother's house, injuring Shannon and killing her dog. This may have been the triggering event in Rori's downward spiral. Rori was a regular at a youth center called The Refuge. Workers there noted that she had recently relapsed into drug use, though in August, they believed she was improving. A few days before the end of August, Harley met with Rori and noticed something different about her. Rori seemed reluctant to talk about what was going on with her and appeared cornered and secretive. Harley described her hug as heartbreaking, the largest hug she had ever given him, one that felt like a final goodbye. On August 29, 2017, Rori's friend and the friend's mom took her to the hospital. The exact reason is unknown, but she was described as having had some sort of mental episode. CCTV captured them sitting in the waiting room. Shortly after, the friend and the friend's mom left the hospital, leaving Rori alone. She sat in the waiting room for 15 minutes, but then left before she could be examined by a doctor. Footage shows her leaving the hospital alone. This was the last time Rori was seen alive. Tell me in the comments if you want part 2 with the rest of interesting details. Subscribe and stay safe. peace.